Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Revere Human Rights Commission monthly meeting. Today is September 7, 2023 at 5:01 p.m. And like mentioned, we are meeting today for the monthly meeting of the Revere Human Rights Commission. I would like to call this meeting to order, and I would start off with the roll call of commissioners. We'll start off with Dr. Garcia.
Aye.
Attorney Molly McGee.
Present.
Carew Pitch.
Present.
Chief Bright.
Present.
We have received word that Chief Callahan will come later into the meeting. Reverend Tim Bogerman will not join us for today's meeting, but will join us for next month's meeting. And then just to call myself out, Chair Shema Hosseini, I am president as it seems. With everyone having, and I would like to acknowledge that the HRC Director, Claudia Correa, is here.
Present.
All right. Before we move on to the rest of our agenda, I would like for everyone to state the Revere Human Rights Commission mission together whenever everyone is ready. The mission of the Human Rights Commission is to promote human and civil rights and empower all people of Revere by ensuring that everyone, especially the most vulnerable and marginalized, have equitable opportunities, equal access, and are treated with dignity, respect, fairness, and justice. Thank you. Before we move on to other agenda items, I would like to make a land acknowledgement. We are in the land of the Pawtucket. We want to continue to give respect to the original people who oversaw this land before us, and we extend any welcome to any Native Americans, First Nation, or Aboriginal people who join us today for this meeting. And while everyone has their agenda in front of them, I would like to have someone approve the May monthly meeting from the last time we met.
Motion to approve the minutes, Madam Chair.
Second.
For our monthly acknowledgements, this is going to be a long list because September is a very important month. But just to name the events going on for September, Labor Day just passed. National Guide Dog Month is September. National Grandparents' Day is September 10th. Hispanic Heritage Month starts September 15th and will continue on until October 15th. World Peace Day is September 21st. National Native American Day is September 22nd. Yom Kippur is September 24th. European Languages Day is September 26th. And Sukkot, please correct me if I'm saying this word incorrectly, but it is a Jewish holiday that starts September 29th and ends October 6th. Is there any other events that anyone else would like to shout out for this month? All right. For those in the audience, if there are any events that I've missed today, please go to the, feel free to either email us to the HRC or go to the HRC website to fill out a form about any events that I've missed today or any upcoming events that you would like us to mention in the upcoming meetings. All right. To move on to the open forum, I see a couple of people, I see someone in the audience. If anyone wants to come up and talk about the agenda items, please feel free to do so. You have 3 minutes to state your business, and yeah, would you like to go up? Just watching? Yeah. Awesome. All right, well, is there anyone on Zoom? No. All right. Well, great. I guess we move on to the next agenda item, which is the topics of discussion for today's meeting. I would like to have everyone recap what they did over the summer. Over the past 3 months since the May monthly meeting, we haven't been meeting publicly, but I believe that all of us have done done things over the summer, and I would like, I can go first to talk about what I've done over the summer. A lot of it just revolved around preparing for the role as acting chair for the HRC, getting to understand how municipal government works, talking to people who work at City Hall, and just trying to understand how to better facilitate this role. Additionally, I did go to some community events, one of which is like the revered, like the Saturday markets, in which like a collective of businesses and organizations come around in Sandler Square and just essentially just talk to the community and see and interact with the community. I used to be very involved with that, but I'd like to continue going as a way to get to better know my community, and I will continue doing so for the time being. Anyone wants to go next?
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. As a commissioner, I was invited through the Susan B. Anthony Middle School here in Revere to attend their Civics Day through the school department. It was a wonderful opportunity. I felt really lucky as a commissioner and as an immigration attorney in the city to hear from our students, to hear what their families thought. The families were there on Civics Day, and I just commend the work that a lot of the commissioners are doing with the school department here in the city. I said it at the school, I've said it off commission, but these type of projects and the conversations that these middle school students were having, you're not seeing in the neighboring cities. And the kids really impressed me. I say kids, I mean, it was like speaking with law students that I'm an attorney, and I thought, wow, your ideas are incredible. Are you sure you're not high school students, first of all? The projects were advanced for what I thought their age was, dealing with real issues that the city's facing, and them as residents, students. Just looking at Dr. Garcia here, that this is the great work that our school department is doing, really impressed me as a commissioner to be there, and I'm so impressed if the SBA students are watching us, that we ask them to tune in and we ask them to get involved. So that was the highlight of probably since we've been together last.
Thank you very much, Attorney McGee. I agree when it comes to the involvement of, truly when it comes to city government. I would love to see, I think we could all collectively agree that we would love to see students, high school students, middle school students that come to our meetings and really voice their concerns that they have about the community and and just voice their opinions of how we can make it better. So thank you very much for that. Anyone else?
Thank you, Chair Hosseini. Also, over the summer, I participate in the Pride Parade, and it was second annual Pride Parade, and I am thankful to be in this community to participate in such a wonderful event. And for next year Pride Parade, I would love to invite people in the community to join the parade. It's very well organized, and all of the performers are very, very talented, and you don't want to miss it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kuru. Anyone else?
So for me, the summertime really provided me with an opportunity to reflect on our practice and also to reflect on many of the things that not only the school department but also the City Hall is involved in. It gave me an opportunity also to participate in a conference designed for school superintendents, directors, and assistant superintendents down the Cape. It's interesting to see the way schools around Massachusetts are really forming a coalition, a strong coalition, I would call it a strong coalition, on tackling issues regarding discrimination and ensuring that systems and practices are in place that really support our kids. And the focus was really a lot of conversations about equity, diversity, and inclusion. It's nice to see the Commission of Education really addressing those things and putting the focus on that, because certainly we have a lot of work to do in our school department in terms of making sure that the curriculum that we have, the student handbooks that we have, if it's free of bias and that's free of language that harm a lot of our kids and families. So, so it's good to see that, and it gave me also an opportunity to really think about, okay, based on the experience that I accrued, or the perspectives that I heard and shared, how are we going to go about in terms of bringing that into Revere and continue the great work that the school department is engaging in our district. So it was great, and also it gave me an opportunity also to think about some strategies and practices we can do within this body, the Human Rights Commission, in terms of how we should proceed down the road, how we can continue to support this group to ensure that we come up with ways in which we can support all residents of Revere, regardless of race, ethnicity, background, experience, to ensure that we all have access to the wealth and richness that this community really shares. Thank you.
I think it also gives hindsight in terms of how we can get involved as the HRC. How can we get involved as a resource in the Revere education system, and how a lot of people can use this as a platform to really express their ideas, and how they can reform the education system here in Revere. And I can't wait till we get to that point in the future. Thank you very much, Dr. Garcia. Does anyone else want to talk about? I know a couple commissioners that go to the Colombian flag raising. Anyone wants to talk about that? No? Yeah? Go ahead.
Sure, why not? Well, it was very well attended. As a matter of fact, historically, the Colombian flag raising has been much larger in Boston. This time around, it seems that the participation, not just by the attendees, but also small businesses, local organizations, was much larger in Revere than in Boston. So that also shows as to how people are feeling more engaged, more welcome, and that they want to celebrate their culture here at City Hall. So it was huge. It was great. People love sharing their culture through folklore dances, performances, food. So it was very, very well attended. So we were excited. Yeah. Thanks.
I would also recommend to whoever's watching or whoever's here with us to be on the lookout for prospective flag raisings that are happening in the future, just so we could have that celebration amongst people who aren't necessarily from that culture, but to learn from that culture that they're going to that event for. So, yeah, awesome. Moving on to our next topic of discussion is just goals for the fiscal year that we've all been kind of drafting over the summer, and definitely things that we've talked about since the last time we've met. And I'm gonna give all this to Molly, but Molly really spearheaded the project of the history of the HRC. I won't speak for her, so I'm gonna give her this opportunity to speak about what she's done so far.
I'll keep it brief, though. Don't let me go here, that we have to be on a time limit. So briefly, that I've probably talked everybody on the commission's ear off about this. As an attorney, an immigration attorney in the city, I was led to join this commission and kind of very naturally be involved with immigrants here and study the history of immigrants. Starting all the way back, really from 400 years ago, but for most people here, probably within the last 100 years, what it means to be an immigrant here in Revere and what immigrants in Revere have done and how it's shaped the city, that this is a historic New England city, that we're a New England state, and Revere's proximity to historic Boston and what that means, what it means to be from this area, and how the Human Rights Commission is a huge part of that since the 1980s, how this commission was reborn again in the 2020s. I look forward to being able to document that this has been a real passion project during my time on the HRC, and finding the ways that every commissioner now and the ones from the original Human Rights Commission in the 80s and 90s, how everybody has a real piece in this city. I like to just be the storyteller. I probably moved to the city more recently than anyone, so my piece in this is just finding out about all of it and reading about it and seeing how different organizations in the city, from fire and police to the school department to the First Congregational Church to the immigrants that are here, are a huge part of this story. And I would love to see it shared with Revere, it written in the history here for people to remember, and to have it be just a part of everything that we're working towards on this commission in the future. So look out for that as well in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Molly. We could definitely, if we want, since we have ample time to do so, we could definitely open this up for more discussion. Like, what would we all like to see prospectively and individually in this fiscal year-long project that we would like to do? Like, for me, I would like to, I could go first. I would like to talk about just like the Moroccans that come here. I'm a Moroccan American. I know past Commissioner Rashid Moukhabir definitely spearheaded that project too, in terms of building the Moroccan community, but just like further talking about like, when did the first ones come? How did we really implement ourselves now in the Revere society, and just eventually just spreading out everywhere else? So like, that's something that I would like to see personally. So does anyone want to talk about what we would like to see from this project?
Thank you, Attorney McGee, Commissioner McGee. I greatly appreciate that you holding the space and doing all the research and putting all the information together as part of the project. In terms of the history of immigrants that have come to Revere. For me, I am a Cambodian immigrant. I came here later on, although there's a Cambodian refugee resettlement in Revere in the early 80s. And there were so many stories. I'm really that hasn't been shared with the community, and especially for the young generation. To learn more about who we are, how we settle in Revere. And I'm so excited that Commissioner McGee put all of this together. I can't wait to contribute and to share some of the information and the knowledge that I have. Thank you.
I think regarding Cambodian history, the fact that so many people from other cities talk about the Cambodians that first came here in Revere says that they were so prominent in the Revere society that it seems like not a lot of people talk about it here in Revere, but it's like the where Cambodians like went, so like Lynn and stuff like that. There's like a lot of talks like, oh yeah, we started from Revere, we moved out, and these are the things that ultimately led us to be moved out, whether that be by force or just by choice. But I think that's like a huge prominent part, since there were a lot of Cambodian refugees that came like in a surge during that time. So I think that's another part that as the HRC should definitely focus on, since it's just a part of history that a lot of people don't want to talk about due to like past traumas, or just don't want to talk about it simply because they were the oppressors of said people. So we need, hopefully with this project is to open up about said traumas and said oppressors, and really have a discussion about what happened in the past. Anyone else? Thank you, Kuru.
I can go next. I think, before I put the hat of school administrators, first of all, I used to be a social studies teacher for many years, a history teacher. So I would be remiss if I did not, commend Commissioner McGee, for this outstanding endeavor that she has embraced, which is basically mapping out the history of Revere, and also in light of the Human Rights Commission that we have, it's a perfect alignment. So I truly appreciate that, and I think through these analysis, these will give us an understanding of, of the past, the patterns, the trends in terms of demographic shifts, cities, towns, communities. There are schools, there are places of political contestation. There's no doubt about it. And the tension that that have arise in light of waves of different immigrant groups that have gone through Revere, that's still here, it's present, so we cannot forget that. So understanding our past will allow us to understand the present. That's pure history. So I think it's great that we're putting something like this together because it will really give us some tools that will enable us to analyze certain behaviors that we have in our city, whether on the part of the immigrant population or maybe the first arrivals. Here, Karu talking about the Cambodian community that probably in the 90s, they were in the city, why they left the city. So it will allow us to really analyze the behaviors, the patterns that are here and really map out a better plan for our city. So I think it's great.
Anyone else would like to join the discussion about the history of the Human Rights Commission project?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to also commend Attorney McGee for initiating this project. I know she's put a lot of work into it thus far. I know she has compiled a lot of information, and everything that's been said by my fellow commissioners as far as I think it's important to tell these stories, to have the community understand the history of the city, because I don't think really most people probably don't, quite frankly. So I think it'll be enlightening, and at the end of the day, I'm hopeful that, I mean, this topic is so rich, the history, we can go out in so many different directions with it and incorporate all the different groups into it in the city. But, hopefully at the end of the day, what it really is going to show people is that that all the different groups that came, at the end of the day, just people, and we're all the same. And to really bring that to light to maybe people who never really looked at it that way before. So I'm hopeful that it's going to have a really positive impact. I'm pretty sure it will in the end. So I wanted to thank Commissioner McGee for initiating that.
Yeah, I would like to just echo all the commissioners. I remember when Molly did bring this up to me first, I was like, I can't believe finally someone is doing it. And I was like, I was 100% on board on her when she brought it up, and I'm excited to see where this goes. And obviously, knowing me, I will provide all the resources that I can, or I will help you out in any way, shape, or form to get this project going, and eventually, maybe even all up to you, even invite members of the community to talk about their individual stories, how their experiences go. People who've left Revere and have all those things to tell us about, like, this is what happened to me, these are the things that I had to go through. So I can't wait. I really can't wait to see where this project is going to go. All right.
It might be a great time to invite anybody from the community. If you're interested, you heard a little bit about this project, this story, you heard a little bit about the Human Rights Commission and what we're doing here. If you feel like you have a story that might be relevant to the Human Rights Commission, the history of Revere, and the history of immigrants, which just so happens to be what I'm interested in. Again, passion project when aligned with my membership here, commissionership on the commission. You might reach out to the Human Rights Commission, to the City of Revere, and we can add you as part of this project. We can document your story. We can have you as part of this. I think everybody here has been part of it. Everybody here has independently probably been interviewed by me and several people that are not here, people that are past commissioners. So it's an interesting project. There's a lot of people here very interested in doing this work. We have a vibrant history museum in this city as well, unlike many towns and cities. So you could reach out there as well. I'm always giving a plug to the History Museum. We offer a lot of activities. There's a tour this weekend, just while we're on the subject, that's very unique to Revere. History is a vibrant part of this community. We talk about our history a lot. as people from Revere. So if you want to keep talking about it with us, please get involved. We invite you to do so.
Thank you very much, Attorney McGee. Assuming we're all good for this agenda item, we could move on to the next one, which is just discussion surrounding Indigenous Peoples Day and Columbus Day, how we're going to be going about that. Who would like to start talking about that? Or I guess I can go. And feel free to join in whenever you can or want. We are in discussions with Strong Oak. Strong Oak has been an awesome ally that has come to our meetings in the past multiple times, and essentially is going to. I keep on saying this word spearhead, but I just really like it. She's going to spearhead kind of like the discussion surrounding Indigenous People Day, and we're thinking about doing a circle for the month of October. And would anyone like to join in just to offer any kind of details surrounding October meeting? Any opinions surrounding either Indigenous Peoples Day or Columbus Day? No?
Sure. I just am looking forward to this so much since we worked with the Tribe of Massachusetts last year as the commission, with Strong Oak as a leader from the commission. I'm interested in learning more about circle practice. It's something that we've done before. Commissioner Pitch is very knowledgeable on the subject, and I do love to discuss it with her. As an immigration attorney, just circling back to that again, this is a practice that comes from our land traditionally, but also other First Nations people throughout the Americas, as well as parts of Asia, Europe, utilize such practices. And I'm always interested to learn about the way people do things, to see if there's any way we can do it better, if we can incorporate their practices. I love to have these discussions as an attorney, too, that I have a history in debate, so that if we were to have any discussion in our October meeting, I think it's great. I think it's lively. It's the political season, and also students like to get involved from the student department. I think this is an academic issue, and as an academic, I think it's fun.
Thank you very much, Attorney McGee. Go ahead.
Thank you, Attorney McGee. Thank you, Chair Hosseini. I am so thankful and grateful for the resources that Strong Oak has provided us, and then continue to support the HRC. And we are in, we'll share more agenda with the public. We are imagining having a circle conversation and discussion that will be hosted by Strong Oak. And we will invite a few members to join our discussion as well. So more to come. We'll let folks know. And if you are interested in joining the circle discussion about People Indigenous Day and Columbus Day, please reach out to the HRC or Director Claudia Correa. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Karu. Just going on, just further elaborating these discussions, and just more so echoing what Karu said about inviting people to the public, inviting people from the public to engage in these conversations. This is ultimately a civilian matter, because this is a holiday, or these two holidays are important to many different people, and we should have these discussions about why they're both so important, but ultimately the importance of why we should be celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day, why it's ultimately a national holiday, and how we could bring that to realization here in Revere. So if, just repeating what Karu said, Commissioner Karu said, if you are very much interested, please reach out to either HRC Director Claudia Correa or the HRC directly, so that you could be involved in those discussions and ultimately be a part and participate in the circle that we're going to be hosting in October. But more information will be provided as we come towards that date, and all that will be provided on the HRC website for those who are interested.
Just correct me, Madam Chair, we did model a circle at a previous meeting last year. I'm looking forward to doing that again. I'm not sure if that was live for the community, but these are practices that, again, we're looking forward with sharing with the community where such practices aren't utilized. There are sometimes alternates to incarceration or alternates to our traditional criminal justice system right now. So as an attorney, just again, and as people that are citizens of the city that criminal justice is a part of our everyday lives, it's interesting to know about these alternatives, that they do exist and they are out there. So again, very excited to share that with the community and invite the community to learn more about these options that are available to them.
Thank you very much, Attorney McGee. Great. Before we move on to our last listed agenda item for today, does anyone want to continue on elaborating a discussion surrounding IPD and Columbus Day? We're all good. Awesome. And lastly, our...
Sorry, Madam Chair, just one more thing.
Yeah, go
One more
ahead.
thing that I am remiss to move on without mentioning. It's so relevant that we have these discussions here in this historic land of Revere as a New England town, now city. The shore that we are upon and our proximity to Boston just makes this discussion very appropriate for this area and relevant. So I want to highlight that the land that we sit on 400 years ago can still be discussed and talked about today for its relevance.
No, I totally agree, especially the different parts of Revere, even the lands that are in close proximity to Revere, like Rumney Marsh, which is here in Revere, and then there's Deer Island and Winthrop. These are all places of Native American significance, and these are this was unbeknownst to me until recently. So the fact that just shows that this is a possibility that a significant possibility that a large majority of Revere doesn't know about these particular spots. So having these discussions and really acknowledging how, I guess, not how in depth, but how integrated the Native American community was before settlers arrived, and just how they, whether or not they were assimilated or how they were treated while the settlers were here up until their unfortunate absence from our current, genocide by the settlers who came here, and why they're unfortunately no longer here with us. Yeah. Before we move on, does anyone else have any last comments about the prospective October meeting before we move on? All right. Last agenda item is just speaking about prospective members who want to join the Human Rights Commission. Over the past couple of years, over the past year or so, we did have some members unfortunately leave our commission. We miss them dearly. However, this is the time to bring new faces and new ideas to the commission, and this is more or less just letting the public know that whoever is interested in being a part of the Human Rights Commission should definitely either reach out to HRC Director Claudia Correa or the HRC themselves, just to talk about why they are very much interested. We would like to see some of these prospective members come to our meetings to really see what essentially goes on, or even voice their own opinions if they have any. And we would like to see different members of the community, whether that be from the Latino community, people with the Black community, people who represent communities are not already represented here, or just other marginalized communities that would like to have a word and say within the municipal government. So I just wanted to provide that to the public. We would like to see some of these members present themselves within the next couple of months, just to see like who we want to see in the HRC. And yeah. Does anyone else want to further discuss about future members, prospective members?
I think one of the things that I really would like this body to do, we welcome people, we want people to come and join, and we want to increase also the number of attendees at these meetings, because when we work together, we'll have a better city. Here we are sitting and talking. There's nobody there sitting except with the gentleman out there. So it's always important when people work together collaboratively, because ultimately, although we're sitting here, we don't have all the answers. We are looking for answers. We're looking for opportunities to collaborate, intentionally collaborate with residents of Revere. And if you look at our mission statement, basically our job is to empower all people, but especially the marginalized ones. And unfortunately, we have a lot of marginalized people in the city of Revere that need our support, our help, our assistance, but we don't have all the answers. It's by listening to them. A few minutes ago, I think it was one of the commissioners was talking about, making sure that the oral history is there, the storytelling is there, listen to the people, their struggles, they experience, and so on and so forth. That will empower us, because we'll have more information and we know how to act. Another thing that I would like really this commission to work on is to develop a profile for a new member that will join us. We want people that really truly is committed to this work, really believe in equity and justice for all, really will take this work and move along, making sure that we're doing it's not that we're not doing our job, we're doing this job more intentional to really, pay dividends down the road. So that's one of the tasks that I would really encourage us to think about, creating a profile, develop some expectations, maybe interview people and see where they stand, and come really and bring a valuable and meaningful perspective and voice into many of the issues that we're discussing on this board. So I think that's important for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Garcia. Anyone else? All right. Does anyone else like to talk about this subject matter? Awesome. Just to repeat what I said in the beginning, first, I would like to apologize for saying Latino. I meant Latine. So I just want to make that clarification. Secondly, just to put this out there again, if you are someone who's very much interested in joining the HRC, or just coming to our, just being more involved with the HRC, I suggest just providing any kind of information to show us why you are a candidate for us to consider, and either send that over to the HRC directly via the email or on the website, or you can send that to HRC Director Claudia Correa. All right, thank you. All right, and before we close the meeting for adjournment, is there anyone else that would like to provide other businesses that we should discuss for today? Right, I'm getting a no all aboard.
One more invitation, Madam Chair,
Yeah, of course.
to contact the HRC if interested in participating in our October meeting, which will be a circle practice with Strong Oak from the tribe of Massachusetts. We had discussed if the community members want to be involved with us, please send your contact information to our Director Correa, or to the Revere contact on our HRC Human Rights Commission webpage. We would love to have people with different perspectives join. That's what Circle's all about. You can look at our previous meeting from November of 2022 to see a model of what some circle practice might look like, but hopefully we'll have a very interesting one here in Revere in October. Thanks.
I would like to also emphasize on the invitation to those like prospective just students, college students, high school students, to really come and really immerse themselves in this experience, not only for their own for their own future and how to integrate that, whether that be in college or after, like, post-graduation, but just to see what the new generation is really thinking, well, the generation after me, and like what their ideas on the Indigenous Peoples Day and how they feel as young Americans about the subject matter. So I just want to emphasize that as well. All right. Well, since there are no other topics of business, go ahead.
Actually, I'm sorry. So talking about events, I know that you mentioned Hispanic Heritage Month. So there are a few local organizations in Revere who have reached out to the city who will be putting an event next Friday, the 15th, at 4:30. It will take place right at the entrance. But this is talking about people that are feeling comfortable reaching out to celebrate these important days, right? So this is actually various organizations and residents who have reached out and they're putting it together. And obviously we are fully supportive of this event. So this is an invitation to everyone who wants to come and learn more about Hispanic Heritage Month, which will kick off on September 15th. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you very much, HRC Director Correa. I would like to also mention that the Shirley Avenue Cultural Festival will be taking place in September 23rd. It will obviously be on Shirley Avenue, and there will be a variety of local businesses, whether that be food businesses or just local. Whether that be food businesses or other businesses that will become, they'll come around and just gather in Shirley Ave. I would like to see everyone there, especially whether that be this event or the local organizations events for Hispanic Heritage Month. I would like to see a lot of people there. I would be there, present company included. So I would like to just put that out as well. All right. Any other events that are worth mentioning for the time being? All right. For all other updates, whether that be events that we've mentioned here at the HRC or just other events that I haven't mentioned, you can definitely go to the Revere Human Rights Commission website. That's where a majority of just postings of when the events will be, just like all the dates surrounding all the events going on in Revere for either the month of September or just future months. That is for you to use and just to check out all the different things that are going on at your leisure. So thank you. All right, I would like to bring this meeting to a close for adjournment. Who would like to close us out?
Madam Chair, would you entertain a motion?
I would sorry. I would like to entertain, do I entertain a motion?
Motion to adjourn the meeting.
Yeah, motion to adjourn the meeting. Thank you, Molly.
Second.
Thank you, Chief Bright.